Lynn, the next question comes from a member of Congress who you'll recognize who the question is from. He says, Lynn, after your last webcast, I took up your proposal, which you mentioned again today, for job training for young people and the particular way that you situated it. I thought it was a brilliant proposal and one that directly addressed what has been an ongoing discussion both in the Democratic and Congressional Black Caucus on job creation. So I happily raised it after a detailed discussion preparing for that. And I have to tell you, I was completely astounded to find that there was tremendous opposition. The argument being, and what he says, is that the opposition came especially from the Black Caucus that said, we don't want those kinds of jobs. The congressman says, I don't know what kind of jobs they want. He says, is the proposal to take young people and stick them in brokerage seats? He said, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of this, and I was wondering if you would comment on it, because I am at a loss as to what would provoke this and of how I should address it.
Well, you've got a certain kind of cultishness that goes on, and especially, it's just exactly that. Some people will say, I feel degraded if I have to do work with my hands. I'm an intellectual. Now, a person who would say that is not much of an intellectual, because one should know that the wealth of the world depends upon production, which is largely physical production, or services such as healthcare. That the only thing that intellectually which is of much value is those ideas, the development of those professional and similar ideas of discovery which enable us to improve physical production. For example, you have a hierarchy in manufacturing. You have people who come in on the lower end of manufacturing, and in a decent society, they will advance by pushing themselves to advance to greater skill and greater authority. They will eventually become in a supervisory position, and the best supervisory position from a standpoint of productivity is a scientist or a skilled machine design specialist. That's the highest level. All the things, the miracles that we have done in terms of building our economy have been based on physical science, to some degree intellectual things that pertains to physical science or healthcare, and to the things that go into machine tool design. The superiority of the United States and to some degree Germany in economy has always been based on that consideration, on physical production of food, improvement of food, improvement of production, increase of productive powers of labor, breakthroughs in chemistry, physical and chemistry, these kinds of things. And that's what we need. Therefore, the question is, what's the priority? The priority has to be of people who are relevant to this process. We have a world full of hungry people. We have a nation full of desperately hungry people who don't have physical employment. They don't have it. They're thrown out of their homes. They're on the streets. The country's going to hell. We're running in shortages of all kinds. We need more physicians in practice. We need more nurses in practice. And they're cutting it. And they're cutting off the access to it. There is no possible way one can deprecate the importance of a scientifically trained or otherwise highly skilled white-collar worker. The best people in the world, the most productive people in the world are white-collar workers, such as astronauts.